When we have a selection in Photoshop, sometimes we need to tweak it a little bit. So after I made a selection with Quick Selection, I'm going to go into the Refine Edge button. And again, this is only available if you're in the Quick Selection tool and you have something currently selected. So when we go into Refine Edge, this is the default, and it kind of shows you what you selected. Now if I zoom in, you can see here that I have some traces of blue. There's different views. If I go to on black, you can really see it here. I'm going to stick to the white, and you can see my brush here. I'm going to make my brush a little bit smaller. And what we can do is we can have Photoshop take a second look at this area and try a second sweep in terms of what it will select. So this is the Refine Radius tool, and what we do is we kind of split the difference, half on what we want to keep and half on what we wanted to look at again. So let me just do a small little sweep here. You can see the blue come back, but you also see some of the hair detail. And when I release it, I have a better look. Same thing, and you do these in kind of small sweeps. If you try to sweep the whole head, it usually doesn't come out. Give it a little bit at a time to take a look at. And it will bring back some of that detail. So that's what the Refine Edge detector can do. Let me zoom back out here. Could do a little bit right here. Usually you want to be zoomed in, and it kind of clean that up a little bit. And we could try this here. It's not going to be the greatest because I didn't make a great selection. Anyway, it's pretty much used for hair detail. So that's what the Refine Edge can do. And we have an option to output here. I'm going to choose New Layer with Layer Mask. And when we do that, it does just that. It will create a new layer and with a mask. So this is your mask. If I disable the mask, I'm just right-clicking Disable. Everything comes back. If I right-click, I enable. So real quickly, what the masking does is the black pixels hide whatever is behind that area. So anything in black is hidden. Anything that is in the white of the mask is what is showing. So the term or the phrase we use is black hides, white reveals. Okay? Having said that, if I need to, say for example here, some problem with the shirt, I can actually edit this and bring back the shirt without making a whole new selection. So what I do is I target the mask. You see these four little white corners. If I'm on the layer thumbnail, it's different. I actually need to target the mask so you can see that the four corners move to this area over here. So if white will reveal, if I want to paint back in some of this shirt here, I can switch to my paintbrush, and I have to make sure I'm painting with white. There's a couple of keyboard shortcuts here that are helpful. D, so D will actually restore your black and white foreground and background, and then the X key, quick key X just by itself, will flip-flop. So if we want to bring pixels back, we paint with white because white reveals. And I can actually go in here. I'm going to switch my brush to more of a solid brush. Now, a lot of times we end up painting more back than we want, which is perfectly fine because now that we have this painted back, we can see what we want to remove. So what we want to remove, we paint on the layer mask with black. So I can flip-flop these colors right here, or I can just press X. And now I can really go in a little bit closer and edit this way. So if I want to bring back, I can flip to white. You see what's happening here? Because some of this got kind of washed out. And right here, I could probably switch to black to hide. So the keyboard shortcut X is very handy depending on whether you need to hide or you reveal the pixels. So if you take another good look at it, you would just kind of sweep around and make sure. So here I'm removed part of his ear, so I want to bring it back. So I would paint with white to bring in that detail. Okay, now if you go too far, this is not horrible to do. Bring back too much, just flip it to X, and then you can kind of go right along what you want to clean up. And you do this in small little sweeps. If you try to do it in one sweep, a lot of times it, doesn't quite work right. And if I took out too much, I can always swap back with the white, bring it back. So it just takes a lot of patience. So again, with a mask, the black pixels hide and the white reveals. And this is considered non-destructive. And here's exactly why. If I decide later on that I want to hide more, as long as I'm on top of the layer mask and I have it targeted, so for whatever reason, maybe I want to give him a haircut, right? So if I just take black, okay, this is horrible, but you get the idea. If I need to bring it back and I've saved it, I could just go back with white and I can paint the hair back in. Okay, now I'm putting back too much, then I would have to clean it up, but you get the idea. So if I just start with white, I can actually bring those pixels, and the layer mask thumbnail will show you what the black pixels are hiding and what the white pixels are revealing.